To what is going on in Maharashtra, where there is a disaster situation unfolding over the last 24 to 48 hours. Incessant rains across the state have led to flooding in several districts, especially Ratnagiri and Raigad. At least 40 people have died in a series of landslides. 4 landslides have been reported in the last 24 hours, and massive waterlogging and flooding in various parts around the coast of Maharashtra is making it difficult to even undertake rescue and relief operations. The Army, the NDRF, the Navy have all been pressed in to help and rescue people who have been stranded. At last count, at least 1,000 people have been shifted out. So this is an unfolding story. To get an idea of what really is going on, I'm joined now by Air Vice Marshal GP Sharma of Skymet, and I'm also speaking today with Mohsen Shahidi, DIG Operations at NDRF. Welcome to both of you, and thank you so much for speaking with us on the India Development Debate. Mr. Shahidi, if I can just first get a sense from you on what the current situation is and where the rescue and relief operations are headed. Are there still people stuck in the landslide?
Yes, the unprecedented rains that have lashed various parts of Maharashtra in the past 2 days, they have caused havoc, primarily Ratnagiri, Raigad, Satara, Kolhapur. They are the worst affected. And 18 teams of NDRF have been initially inducted there, and seeing the calamity, the vastness of the situation, 8 additional teams have been inducted today from Odisha, and they have joined the rescue ops. Now, considering the situation that we would need another few days to complete our operations, because a lot of people are still stranded, marooned, and missing. There have been at least 3 major landslides, one in Raigad, then in Ratnagiri and Satara also. So we are moving now additional 4 teams from Calcutta and 4 teams from Madhudara early tomorrow morning. So in all, we have now 26 teams, and 8 more will be joining tomorrow.
Right. Mr. Sharma, can you give us a sense of why we are seeing these torrential rains? Are these unseasonal rains, and why these areas seem to be so badly affected this time around, especially with landslides?
Yes, Tamanna. Floods during the monsoon season, not new things, but then this particular bout which we are facing now, it is, if not unprecedented, definitely it is not seen very often. Okay, and various reasons for that. I'm little taken aback with the type of event which we had this time. These floods are different in terms of its locations, the timings of the floods as such, its intensity and the scale of these floods, and finally even the duration of these floods at this point of time, at this time of the season. It's a little different, which we do not see. The belt has shifted this side. Earlier we used to see possibly floods coming over northeast India, parts of Bihar frequently, and maybe along the foothills of Uttar Pradesh also. But this time we have floods over Western Ghats, along the Western Ghats, and normally you won't find these floods shifting on the other side of the Ghats. Place like Kolhapur, which is on the other side of the Ghat, is raining tremendous. Okay, over 2 days' time it has rained 300 millimeter, more than the average of its monthly rainfall. It has gathered in just about 36 hours or so. So the scale of the event or the floods as such is much, much more than what normally is experienced. Now you ask for the reasons that why is it so? You see, normally we keep on saying that obviously the weather pattern has changed due to, we say whether it's a global warming, climate change, that is a part of the aspect as such. But then, see, month of June we didn't see much. Only at the time of onset we saw a deluge over Mumbai and adjoining areas. But then in the month of July, this is almost happening in quick succession. Okay, the reason is month of June, we saw only all these rains. Firstly, I would like to say they are driven by the monsoon systems. We call it as a monsoon low or monsoon depressions, or at times a deep depression, or rarely a cyclone. But then these are driven by these monsoon systems. In the month of June, single system formed around 11th of June, 10th of June, which brought monsoon over Mumbai and even along Ratnagiri region. But then now in the month of July, already one system was there. That was around 10th, 11th July. In quick succession, another system has formed now, which has already crossed the coast now. Whenever these systems form, you have these rains, a deluge along the west coast, because southwest monsoon mean winds are westerly, which are head on to the Western Ghats, and that's how they cause tremendous amount of precipitation along the Ghats. You will never see a day without rains along the Western Ghats. No, all the season, all the days. And I'm afraid another system is coming up. It should be forming another one. That's around 27th of July. Third system of this season, this month rather, it will be forming in the Bay of Bengal. So all this is contributing. Frequency of this system, obviously it is related with, you can say, the climate change.
So Mr. Sharma, just to understand, so we will see another bout of heavy rainfall around 27th of July?
See, 27th of July, I said another system is forming in the Bay of Bengal, which will possibly, it depends on the track also which they take. That system fortunately is not taking this track which the second one has taken.
Okay.
It has taken all through Telangana, Maharashtra region, but that I believe that should be more towards the northern parts, in which case even Bihar and East UP should come on alert. Possibly the pocket will shift around that time. My fear is Bihar is going to have excessive rains during that time. And along with that, even Northeast India, which is not heard in this season so far. It's very frequently otherwise heard, but this season it's missing. But that is the time when we can expect to happen over that pocket, over East and Northeast India. Fortunately, not the Western Ghats, not Mumbai and Ratnagiri.
You know, I want to go a little deeper into what we are seeing. Because today we are actually seeing very horrific visuals of people stranded for hours on the terrace of their buildings or their houses as the water has risen up, just about waiting to be airlifted. Mr. Shahidi, give us a sense of how difficult these particular rounds of rescue operations have been and the reasons for that. Is it because of a lot of flooding in these areas and in the main approach roads?
Precisely. In fact, during the initial period of our induction of the troops, we faced a lot of difficulties in actually moving the troops to the disturbed areas because of waterlogging on the roads, and then the trees, uprooted trees on the roads, the boulders. So our troops had to keep getting down, removing the obstacles, and then moving forward. It was a very Herculean task. And added to that was the fact that in many areas the communication network was also off because of the non-availability of the internet facility. Because this is very important for us, because we keep getting the distress calls for our operations, and that was a problem area. The other issue was, of course, the incessant rains that have been there since morning, and that is actually disturbing because our men get disturbed. But we have ensured that the men are working 24/7, and the rescue operations are going on without a stop.
Mr. Sharma, one more question that I want to put to you. In what could be a reason for the kind of flooding we have seen is a rampant construction in some of these areas. Places like Chiploon and even other places have seen such a boom of construction, perhaps some of it not very well planned. Could that also be contributing to the kind of devastation we have seen today and the flooding?
Surely that goes without saying. It is one of the reasons, and rather we keep talking about in such type of cases whenever, as and when they come up, like urban or development, we keep talking about that. Same is the case here also. You see, the problem gets compounded along the Western Ghats, and particularly the places which you mentioned. The backbone of our forecast is normally we have on numerical models. Models do not catch orographic rainfall. Let me tell you very clearly to that extent. Scale may vary. Okay, so while in the plains, you can observe these pattern of rains with the observation platform, be it weather radars, be it some other means like even the pictures, satellite imageries also. Over the orographic terrain, it is very difficult. You cannot assess. Over the plains, you can definitely to have some idea of the inflow and outflow of water. Therefore, gravity of situation you can assess. Whereas in the Ghats, over these areas, next to impossible. It is not there. Only time, therefore, is as such is less to react. It's a very difficult task for all the disaster managing agencies and even other rescue agencies, be it Air Force, be it Army or Navy, to come quickly, because you do not have the assessment as such in the hilly areas, be it Uttarakhand, be it Western Ghats. It gets compounded, as I said earlier, and that is what has happened here. Can you imagine place like, though it is in Satara district, place like Jor and you mentioned Choplin and then even Mahabaleshwar, about 600 millimeter of rainfall in a less than about 36 hours or so. So obviously your infrastructure collapses in that. Even if you are prepared, possibly that gives way, and then that is how it leads to such critical situations wherein you find it difficult to recover. Our capacity building just goes down the drain when it comes to such heavy events over these areas, over a difficult terrain, and terrain like the Western Ghats, right from Konkan region to Goa region, and then even coming down to even coastal Karnataka region. Okay, but then the only good news which I give is, hopefully this will recover now. Weather-wise, it's going to improve now over this area in the next few days. Yeah.
Okay, that's definitely good news, but word to the wise about how our rescue and relief operations have to be planned. We couldn't approach a lot of people who needed help for 24 hours because of the flooded roads. Then we had to press in, the Army, the Navy and the Air Force as well for help. So it's a very important lesson about how we need to be prepared for all of these situations. I want to thank Mr. Sharma and Mr. Shahidi for joining us on this conversation. Meanwhile, let's just get you a ground report on what is really happening in this situation. My colleague Shivani is actually reporting from one of the sites which is completely inundated.
After extreme heavy rainfall here in the Raigad district of Maharashtra, the Mahad district has been flooded all over night and day, and right now we are present at a river site where you will be able to see through the visual that how the water level has increased and how the villagers have been suffered. In fact, through the other side also you will be able to see that how fast the water flow has been there. You can see the bridge, this was also flooded, but after several hours where the rains were not happening, that is the reason that water have been removed from here. But of course, through the visuals, we'll be able to just showcase you that water level, which has decreased to 10 to 15 feet down in Mahad right now, has also witnessed a landslide which has caused 36 deaths. And also the rescue operations are going around. The authorities have said that it is expected that 30 more people are still there inside, and the rescue operation will be held for those as well. But after the huge landslide, 36 deaths have been reported in Mahad, and it is still expected that the floods which have now been stopped or are recovering right now, which is declining right now, can also increase if the rain continue to have further.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to all of those people who are stranded. And just a word to the wise on what's happening around the world. We've spoken about this earlier this week on the show as well, and told you about how Europe and Germany saw its worst floods in the last 6 decades. Large parts of China right now are flooded, are underwater. And of course, we're seeing this not just in Maharashtra, but in different parts of India. We need to wake up and see what's happening around us.